morning, everyone. In year 1972, Marcos declared the martial law. For me, martial law was not so bad. It surely has positive effect on our country during that time. Martial law is a complex period in our history. Different kinds of people had different kinds of experiences. Those who took up arms against the state or were sympathetic to them naturally had different narratives compared to those who lived through the period as compliant and obedient citizens. And in between are others who had different stories to tell, some positive, some negative, and many others that are mixed. It may seem so cruel in time of Marcos, but if historians would be fair about it, there were also some positive things about it, like eradicate criminality, improve peace, eliminate any signs of terrorism, remove corrupt official, promotes equality and equity. Of course, the bad things includes the warrantless arrests, the indefinite detention without charges, and the alleged torture, rape, and other detestable abuses, supposedly committed by military officials and personnel who went out of bounds. Media is content with portraying martial law victims heroically abused for their struggle, which, when you think of it, makes no sense. Even then, media always fails to consider that the struggle, however good the objective, oftentimes involves what is considered in the revised penal code as rebellion, sedition, arson, destruction of property, physical injuries, and murder. If we condemn extrajudicial killings because the ends do not justify the means, then why we condone it here? This becomes all the more relevant when we realize that only 15% of the 75,730 abuse claims filed were recognized as valid by the Human Rights Victims Claims Court today. In the years of martial law, both rich and poor became disciplined. The rich people who exploited and committed all forms of social injustices against the people were disciplined through massive social changes and development, including agrarian reform, labor decrees including the labor code, and the government's exercise of eminent domain and police power to break the monopolies by landed estates by the ruling classes who were committing multiple unfair labor practices against their workers. Marcos decreed many social reforms, especially in the form of labor. In the form of labor laws and social legislation. Curfew was imposed. The young ones did not roam around at nights like what we are doing today. The core of the curriculum was work. Pupils and students were trained to work and not to behave as spoiled brats like many are today. The young and the old were ordered to plant trees, and the government employees were required to render rural service in order to help the Green Revolution. People were asked to clean their surroundings, to be mindful of the community sanitation. No one was allowed to urinate and defecate anywhere. The people were made to respect the environment. As between absolute freedom and conscientious discipline, I prefer discipline. As between unrestrained freedom to abuse, freedom to plunder the country, freedom to use and sell drugs, and freedom to ravage the environment, which are all happening today, on the one hand, and discipline on the other hand, I would always choose discipline. I agree in this time we don't need martial law. But for me, I think it is still important to have a discipline and peace. Thank you for listening.